Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky surprised fans of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills when they confirmed their separation in October 2023, ending their 27-year marriage. Viewers have watched their emotional split unfold on the show, including a particularly intense moment in a recent episode where Kyle broke down during a conversation with Mauricio. Some fans described the interaction as uncomfortable, while others noted lingering affection between the two. Despite having lived separately for over a year, the couple has yet to file official divorce papers, prompting speculation about the state of their relationship. According to a source who spoke with Briefing on Bravo, the couple is no longer considering reconciliation. Kyle and Mauricio are in the best place they can be, given everything, the source shared. It's still difficult for Kyle, but she's managing. They still care about each other and continue to support one another when needed, the source added. But their relationship as a couple has run its course. Legal and financial considerations also appear to be a factor in the delay. Without a prenuptial agreement, Kyle and Mauricio are expected to divide everything equally, as they began their marriage in 1994 with modest means. Since then, their success has grown dramatically. Kyle joined RHOBH in 2010, and Mauricio co-founded the agency, a real estate firm that now spans multiple countries and reported over $12 billion in sales in 2023. Kyle also has a stake in the company. The couple's estimated combined net worth exceeds $100 million, and they own properties in Encino, Beverly Hills, Aspen, and Palm Desert. Dividing those assets would be complex, and according to the source, that's part of what slowed the process. Kyle and Mauricio currently lead separate lives. Kyle continues to live in the family home, while Mauricio resides in a nearby condo. Their separation became public knowledge during a February 2024 episode of RHOBH, where they informed their daughters, Alexia, 27, Sophia, 24, and Portia, 16, about the decision to part ways. The scene drew public criticism for being filmed, including commentary from media personalities who questioned whether such moments should be broadcast. Though their romantic chapter appears to be over, Kyle and Mauricio remain involved in each other's lives and are navigating their new dynamic with care and respect. Separate paths, shared history. Today, Kyle continues to live in their family home in Encino, while Mauricio has moved into a separate residence in Los Angeles. They maintain regular contact, not just because of their shared business interests, but also because of their commitment to co-parenting and family stability. Though their romantic chapter appears to be behind them, both have expressed appreciation for the life they built together and the bond they still share. They still support each other when needed, the source emphasized. This isn't a bitter separation. It's just two people who've grown apart and are finding new paths separately. As fans continue to watch their story unfold on Bravo, one thing is clear: Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky's separation is more than a headline. It's a deeply layered journey involving family, business, and the challenges of closing one chapter while carefully writing the next. It had been over a year since the world had learned of their separation, a revelation that had sent shockwaves through the fan base of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. 27 years, a lifetime really woven into the fabric of Hollywood glamour, real estate empires, and most importantly, family. The public saw a headline, a dramatic split on television. Kyle and Mauricio, however, lived the quiet, agonizing truth of a love story that had simply, profoundly run its course. The question lingered, a persistent whisper in the media and among their closest friends: why haven't they filed for divorce? The answer wasn't simple, nor was it singular. It was a tapestry woven from shared history, tangled finances, unbreakable family bonds, and the unique burden of a life lived under the unblinking eye of reality television. The weight of 27 years, a foundation built on love, not paper. Their story began modestly, a whirlwind romance in 1994. Kyle, a former child star, and Mauricio, a burgeoning entrepreneur with a twinkle in his eye and an ambitious spirit. There was no prenuptial agreement then, no need for one. They were young, in love, and building a life from the ground up, brick by brick, dream by dream. Their union was a partnership of equals, a shared vision of success and family. Kyle remembered those early days with a bittersweet ache, the cramped apartments, the late-night talks about their future, the thrill of Mauricio closing his first big deal, her own quiet satisfaction in nurturing their home and raising their girls. They had built an empire together, not just financially, but emotionally. The agency, Mauricio's real estate behemoth, now spanned continents, a testament to his drive, but also to the stable, supportive home Kyle had created, the bedrock upon which he could build. Kyle herself had a stake in that company, a tangible link that went beyond sentiment. "We started with nothing," she'd once confided to a friend, a wistful smile playing on her lips. "Everything we have, we built together. Every house, every dollar, every memory. How do you just cut that in half with a pen stroke?" The estimated combined net worth, exceeding $100 million, was not just a number, it was the sum of their shared aspirations, their combined efforts, their very lives. The properties, the sprawling Encino family home, the chic Beverly Hills pad, the serene Aspen escape, the sun-drenched Palm Desert retreat, each held a piece of their story, a memory etched into its walls. Dividing these assets wasn't merely a legal process, it was an emotional excavation, a dismantling of their shared identity. The thought of lawyers poring over every acquisition, every investment, every piece of art felt like a desecration of their legacy. The emotional labyrinth, lingering affection, and the comfort of familiarity. Despite the public confirmation of their separation, the emotional ties remained stubbornly strong. Viewers had witnessed it, often uncomfortably, on screen. That raw, tearful conversation where Kyle broke down, Mauricio's quiet, pained presence. It wasn't the explosive anger of a bitter divorce. It was the deep, aching sorrow of two people who still cared for each other, grappling with the profound realization that their romantic journey had reached its end. Mauricio, in his condo, often found himself scrolling through old photos on his phone, holidays in Aspen, family dinners, the girls growing up. Kyle, in the big house, would sometimes catch herself reaching for her phone to share a funny anecdote with him, only to remember the new reality. The habits of nearly 3 decades were ingrained, a comfortable, worn path that was difficult to abandon. It's still difficult for Kyle, but she's managing, the source had told Briefing on Bravo. This wasn't a casual breakup, it was the unraveling of a foundational relationship. The lingering affection wasn't a sign of reconciliation, but a testament to the depth of their bond. It was the affection of a shared past, of mutual respect, of a profound understanding that only two people who have lived so intimately can possess. To rush into a divorce, to formalize the end, felt like severing a limb, a finality they weren't quite ready for, not emotionally. The children's anchor, a commitment beyond romance. Perhaps the most potent tether was their daughters, Alexia, Sophia, and Portia. Their separation became public knowledge during a filmed episode of RHOBH, a moment that drew criticism for its public nature. But for Kyle and Mauricio, it was a deeply personal, agonizing conversation. Their girls were their world, the living embodiment of their love story. How do you tell your children that the life they've known, the family unit they've always had, is changing forever? Kyle had confessed to her sister, Kathy. The pain of that conversation, the tears in their daughter's eyes, had solidified a silent pact between Kyle and Mauricio. Their children's well-being came first. They were committed to co-parenting, to maintaining a semblance of stability for their girls. A messy, protracted legal battle, the public airing of grievances, the division of assets played out in court. That was a nightmare they refused to inflict upon their children. They wanted to show them that even when love changes form, respect and family remain paramount. Mauricio's condo was nearby, a deliberate choice to ensure he was always accessible, always present for school events, family dinners, and spontaneous visits. The girls, though adults or nearly so, still needed their parents to navigate this new dynamic with grace. The delay in filing was, in many ways, an unspoken agreement to allow their daughters to adjust, to process, and to feel secure in the knowledge that their family, while restructured, was not broken. The public eye, navigating a narrative. Living under the constant glare of reality television added another layer of complexity. Every tear, every strained conversation, every separate outing was dissected, analyzed, and commented upon. Their separation wasn't just a private matter, it was a public spectacle. The show had captured the emotional unfolding of their split, from the initial rumors to the raw, on-screen confessions. This public narrative, however, also created a strange pressure. To file for divorce immediately would be to give the public the definitive ending they craved, to slam the door shut on a story that was still, in many ways, being written.